Okay guys, welcome to the second tutorial of the Notes app. And so far what we have done is that we have built this app where we have a splash screen, and this takes us to our main activity. And what I'll do here is I'll just go to the manifest, and also because if you can locate the Notes app icon, that we can also give to our app. So I'll just change it to drawable notes. Okay, and I can just close this and I can minimize the emulator. What I'll do is now what we have done so far is that we have created the splash screen, and we will move to more work in this tutorial, such as applying the navigation component, where we can create a navigation graph. And yeah, so let's just create an Android resource file and just find here navigation, name it as nav graph or navigation graph if you prefer the full form. And what I'm going to do here is if I go to my main fragment, then I can just uh, uncomment this. So because the reason this was commented out, because I wanted to show you that we have made it to the main activity. So this is the text view that I had initially put there to show you that we were on the main activity. So now we can get rid of that, and this is the chunk of code that you can use to host your navigation graph that includes your different destinations that we will create later. Or I can just show you here, like here obviously we cannot see the fragments because we have to attach them to the fragments first. So the layouts are already there, and as I have already explained you in the last tutorial. So what I'll do here is I'll just go to my app folder and I'll just create some packages, UI for the appearance, like the layouts and their fragments, and one package for the database and one package respectively for the model view model. So what I'll just do is I'll just create some of the fragments here, and we'll choose blank fragment. We don't need this, so I'll just write delete like one maybe, because we already have the fragments here. So I'll just create some layouts, and then we can just get rid of this, like the unnecessary codes. We don't need this. We'll just go down in here and that's gone. Then again we will just create a new fragment. We will name this as create note fragment, and we can just delete this also. I'm just creating the layouts because there is no option to stop the generation of the layouts when we create the fragments, but you will understand it later. If you don't understand it now, no worries. So I'm just cleaning it up a little bit, and here we would see two of these, so we can just delete them. Okay, and now what I'll do here is I'll just go here, and there is a layout for this fragment create note. I've done that, and home fragment is fragment home. Now the last fragment I need is the edit note fragment, so that I'll also create here. I mean, we can just put delete here too. So I'll just quickly get rid of this code that we don't need for this tutorial. Okay, that's gone, and now what I'll just do is add it fragment added node, and now here one extra fragment that we have here is delete one. We'll just delete that. So what I have done here is I have just created fragments and I have hooked them to their respective fragments. Okay, what we'll do is I'll just quickly come on the navigation graph. I'll click on this button, and first fragment is home fragment, because we want whenever the user opens the app, we want the list of the nodes to be displayed. The second fragment is going to be create fragment, and from the same fragment we need the path to edit our nodes. So what I'll do here is I'll just try to create some space for this. Okay. Oh wow, what is happening? Okay. So from home fragment we can go to create fragment. So this is the path that we have created. From same home fragment, when the user clicks on any node and wishes to edit it, we can go to the edit node fragment. But when we press back from the edit node, we can go to home fragment. And when we press, like when we are done creating our node and we save it, the new node, we can still go back to our home fragment. So these are the paths that had to be defined. Okay, pretty straightforward, nothing like rocket science in this one. Okay, so what I'll do here is um, what I'll do next is to work on, yeah, once our this is done. Now what we have done is this is that we are hosting our all the fragments on the main activity, and this is the graph that this fragment is referring to. And what will happen is that once we run the app, we might be able to see our home fragment that we have assigned the home to. If you can see this home icon, that means this is the first page of the app is going to be. And obviously why? Because we have put the navigation graph into our activity main layout. So let's see. So if we look here, what we will see is, okay, yeah, now this is showing us our fragment where all of like the nodes are going to appear, and obviously there is this one floating action button is here, and yeah, on and on. So what I'll do here while we are at it is that all these fragments, I told you in the start that we will be using data binding. So what I'll do here is let init binding fragment create node binding, and I'll just remove or maybe comment this. And what will happen here is binding data binding dot inflator r dot layout dot create node false return binding dot root. Okay, so now this is good to go. What I'll just do, I'll just copy these codes and do the same for our three other fragments, but obviously be careful when you're copying it because you don't want to like misplace the fragments or like attach the wrong fragments to yeah, wrong layouts. So fragment, edit, node binding. So this is done also, and I'll do the same for home fragment also. Is that I'll just change here fragment home, and here I'll just, this is just to save time, not the best practice, but I'm making the tutorial here, so you know, fragment home binding. Okay, and the reason we, if you are not seeing this, if you cannot see the binding class that was generated, is because maybe you might not have like put your parent layout and enclosed it into the layout tags. These layout tags are helping to generate this class for us. Okay, now what I'll do is uh, I'll end this tutorial, and in the next one we will start to work on a little bit of a room database and all that stuff. Okay, so see you in the next tutorial. Thank you.